Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Hello everybody, Wilder Ireland here. And as you can see, I'm back in my little yard. I'm trying to get some of these birds for you on, rather than the trail camera on the phone here. And as you can see, a couple of goldfinches have just come in. There's some more now. There's usually, I would say, about 20 of them really. When you see the trail camera footage, you can obviously only see the feeders, the two feeders. But there's normally quite a few other finches around on the trees or on the washing line itself. Excuse me. So the fact that I'm here, I'll be putting them off, but I'm just going to try and sit here quietly and see if we can get some more coming in. These days, it's mainly goldfinches and greenfinches. Some great tits and blue tits. Not as many of the sparrows as I did have. And the starlings seem to have disappeared. It was all starlings and sparrows. I told you this before until I switched to those sunflower heart seeds you can see there. And again, sunflower hearts, see, I think I scared them there, are purely sunflower seeds with the husk removed. And again, goldfinches are supposed to adore Niger seed or Niger seed. There's a lot of finches up in the tree there now, I don't know. I don't know if you can see them. Kind of, I suppose. Yeah, they're supposed to adore the Niger seed. But I had Niger seed there and the sunflower hearts. You can see it on the trail camera footage under the birds playlist. And they basically ignored it, very rarely touched it. They really only used the Niger seed feeder as just a staging post to try and get onto the sunflower one. And without rehashing everything, I was initially basically feeding general seed mix, then what they call a no-mess seed mix. But it was just mainly loads of sparrows and occasional visit from blue and grey tits. Not a sign of any finches until I started using that seed. And one pair arrived and they just, came for a couple of mornings, you say an hour or half an hour in the morning and the same in the afternoon. And then a couple of days later, we had just loads of them. And they spend basically the whole day here. Now, I don't know if they're going to thin out a bit now. I saw on Facebook and that some people, because they should be nesting now. I think their time to nest is coming up. The tits are already nesting. Not in my bloody boxes, they're not though. As I kind of was afraid, my garden, my little yard here, I think is too small and there's not enough vegetation. Plus I've all these feeders nearby, so I don't know if those are the reasons, but I guess those are the reasons. They probably wouldn't have felt very secure. I got one of those for my mother there, that box up there, the Schwegler, I think they're called, the German ones. They're nice little, meant to last forever, well, a quarter of a century or something. But anyway, she's a standard suburban garden in Dublin, but it's, it's well established, lots of shrubs and bushes and that. And yeah, she got a couple of blue tits in hers. I don't know if they're still there, but so all these finches are here now, but they're all up in that tree. They're wise to me. We'll see. And they have been using the goldfinches and the tits especially are using that little water bottle thing there. It's very important to leave water for them as well. Sometimes people forget that. You can leave it on the ground once there's no loads of cats around or anything. You could just put it in a dish or something, but I just got that thing there. You could probably make something like that yourself now. I don't know. And the other news is I'm going to be installing a water feature in here, and there will be a grand opening. Let me just show you this. Look at this. Now you've probably seen these. These seem to be the gimmick of this year, because there's ads for them all over the internet. They're just a very small solar powered, like the lights, the garden lights, solar powered fountain. But unlike the lights, there's no battery. So basically, if there isn't decent, strong sunlight, they're just not going to work, because there's no battery, you know, to store. I'm sure some of you may have these. Basically, you get a few different nozzles to choose from. Am I doing this? Yeah. You know. God, I'm such a good camera person. Yeah. So, and what you have then basically is you've got the solar, just like on the garden lights, as I said, very same. And underneath we have. Now, if any of you ever kept fish in any remotely major way, you'd know what this is. So this is basically a small pump, like you would get on a small power filter for an aquarium or a fountain in a pond. Now, you know, I'm not. If I got the summer out of this, I'd probably be impressed. But anyway, they on the instructions there, this is serviceable. You can open it out. You see it there. You see there's the vents. So what happens with these is these have a magnetic impeller inside, and it basically powers it. So from my aquarium days, oh, the birds are all coming in, lads. Let's see now. And they're fighting as usual. Oh yes, I'm like, I don't know, David Bellamy. Only the older people would know who David Bellamy was, hiding in the bushes. But anyway, but I will tell you one thing about cleaning this. It doesn't really tell you in the best way to clean the impeller when you just snap it out is you run it under the tap, but also get a small brush, a toothbrush or something, and give it a good scrub, because you'll get algae deposits. You'll get, you know, detritus and bits of dirt or whatever, and you could end up blocking the impeller. So that's, if you get one or have one, that's something you might want to. The impeller is kind of magnetic, and it just goes into the kind of a holder basically, and it turns around like a propeller. It's not tiny, obviously. So this you can float on the water. You could put it on, you can put it in bird baths, or you could put it if you had a pond or fish pond or wildlife pond. Now obviously this isn't going to be, you know, a major, it's going to be, this is actually, as I'm holding this now, it's actually vibrating. I hope this isn't, they haven't seen my videos, and I hope this isn't going to explode. Anyway, yeah, so there's suckers there, as you can see. So I suppose you could, if it was very shallow, you could just fix it on the bottom, but I think the handiest thing would just be to float it. So I have a big job now. What I've done is, you can see you'll have to go to my birds long video. I'm sure you would, there's no need to, I'm only joking, but I got this really cheap bird bath, plastic bird bath. I think it was about 20 euros in one of those, you know, discount stores. And that was on top of the bird bath. So I've basically taken that off. And because that's off, there's now a hole, the way it's designed. So I've got some silicone sealant. I'm just going to block that up. I'll probably put a little square of plastic on it as well, and use the sealant. You won't have to do that. You'll probably have a proper bath or whatever. But if you ever are using sealant on bird baths or anything, always make sure you use aquarium grade, because a lot of the regular sealants you might buy for bathrooms and showers or whatever would have a fungicide or anti-mold chemicals in them, and those could leach out, and yeah, so you could kill the birdies. So, but that's the big project anyway. I'll have my big fancy water feature, and I'll be able to have mimosas in the morning and cocktails in the evening. There's a finch now. I mean, a green finch now. I'll just leave it on the feeders and see if they come on. But now, another public service announcement. Trichomonas is that disease that is unfortunately very common, and finches are mainly affected by it. And when I first started feeding the birds here a few months ago, in spite of taking all the precautions, well, as many as I could, obviously you can't disinfect and clean the whole place, but cleaning the feeders and cleaning underneath, and there was a dead chaffinch, so I stopped feeding for 2. You could probably stop for 3, but I'm not 100% sure, and that's one reason I have the camera running now. I did see a green finch. Now, it could just be a rather fat green finch, but here's one about to drink now, look. But I'm a little bit worried that it could be Trichomonas. They basically get very fat, and their feathers plump out, as if, you know, in the winter when they're cold, they'll often fluff up their feathers. You'll also might notice the beak, that the terrible thing about it is they eat until basically the very end. So just because a bird is eating, you might say, it's not that sick. No, not with this. So, and the other really obvious sign is, you know, they just won't. They're very lethargic, and if you go out or if you bang the window or whatever, they're very slow to move. And it's a protozoan. It's a single-celled bacteria. And it sort of affects the throat and the nasal passages, and it's very common. Now, it's been around for ages. They even think the dinosaurs, of course, depending on what school you're in now, if you go back, most people say the birds are descended from the dinosaurs, but some people argue against that. But that's the way science is. There's always, but it wasn't really an issue here until the mid-2000s, and showed up in the UK first, and then over here in finches. So anyway, if it is back, I'm just probably going to shut down shop now and just leave it till the winter, because which will be a shame, but yeah. But a lot of people, I know by looking on the Facebook pages, a lot of people have issues with it. And I mean, whatever about feeding birds in the winter, you know, there's all schools of thought in that. Some say you should never feed them, they're in wild or whatever. Some say feed all year round. Of course, all the feed companies will tell you to feed all year round, and some just feed in the winter. But I'd be quite comfortable anyway, and I'm new at this, so I'm not trying to, you know, pretend I'm an authority on it. But if I have to stop feeding now, so be it. But they've missed it. Look at them. Now, if I wasn't here, all those feeders would be full. Well, the peanut one wouldn't. That's only occasionally visited, but the 2 sunflower ones would. I mean, full as in all the perches would be occupied. So yeah, there's loads of them up in the tree there, but I don't know if you can see them. Oh God help me for my camera lack of. You can just see 1 or 2, but well, you can hear them anyway. So yeah, that's the bird update. Oh, here they all come now. Here's one having the water. I just want to show you the water because it's so exciting. I know. It's when I first got it, again, it was something they didn't seem to use. But they use it quite a lot now. They drink, and occasionally they'll actually, the smaller ones will have a little bath in it. I'm going to put a sign up telling them there's going to be a bath provided. But yeah, so that's it. I'm a little bit things are going a bit sour. My God, there's loads of them up there now. Because, as I said, the badgers have moved out of their main set. And now I might have this bloody Trichomonas back. But I'll wait until I see that bird again, because sometimes you just get a bit over, paranoid about it, especially when you've actually experienced it. Anyway, I think I'll go and let them get back to their feeding in peace. There's loads of them up there now waiting to come down. Of course, I'm getting these fellas too. You probably get these, the collar doves. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention that in my other video I was saying how wonderful the sunflower seed is, which it absolutely is. But if you're using it, give it a week or so. Sometimes it takes birds a while to get, even when I changed from the regular seed to the no mess seed, they loved the original, the cheaper one, the husks and everything. And when I put in the no mess one, they didn't touch it. And I was, Jesus, I was after buying a huge sack. I said, idiot, you should have got a small sack. But then they, after a week, they were just fine with it. But yeah, so if you are going, like, obviously if they're on Niger seed and you're happy with that, that's fine. But if you haven't got any finches, if they're in the area at all, maybe just give it a try. And I've also had siskins in, but I haven't seen them in a long time. And so, as I said, mainly green finches and loads of goldfinches. Yeah, there's loads of them up there. No, I'd say all you can see is you can see a bit there now. Such a great camera person. Anyway, I'll leave it at this. This is just dragging on now. Yeah, okay, so I've got some mammal footage that I can put up. I'm just going to wait for a while because, you've seen most of it before. Not it, but similar. And I might do one of my dreaded parody videos just so I can lose a few subscribers. It's a bit self-indulgent, really. I like doing them, but I don't know if they're really entertaining to anyone else. But anyway, I may or may not do one of those, and we'll take it from there. Anyway, all the very best, and thanks for watching. And if you like, or subscribe. Adios.